Rarely would you come across those days when you talk about something which you are really proud about. Hi everyone, myself Professor Saptarshi Shankar Chakravarti. I'm an architect, author, entrepreneur, Southeast Asia. I have been practicing and preaching as an architect for the past 2 decades across India and abroad. With my hands-on experience in designing and building numerous projects, I've gained some real-life insight which you guys know I keep sharing with my students of architecture out there. Well, today let me tell you about 5 different ways in which architecture students can immediately get started like a real-life, real-world entrepreneur. You know what? As architecture students, you guys are a rare breed. You guys are creative perfectionists who are ambitious enough to accept all-nighters as a norm. But far too often, you tend to ignore the financial value of the skill set and complain about the lack of job prospects and stuff like that. Why so? Why would a field of study that teaches students to envision and create wonders so subjectively ultimately generate graduates who would view their career path so objectively? Think about it. You know, I had published very detailed articles on this particular topic, and also in my book Think Beyond Architecture series, I have a whole new chapter which talks about this particular phenomenon, how to become the entrepreneur of the future. I think there needs to be a paradigm mind shift of the architecture students and probably their parents as well. Ask yourself, how can I monetize my skill? As opposed to how long should I wait until someone hires students of architecture can take a note of this. Point number 1, 3D rendering service. My all-time favorite, time-tested and cool. When I was working as the principal architect for a Singapore government company specialized into multidisciplinary consultancy jobs and all, I noticed that we were spending far too much on the drafting budget. In the first meeting, I would meet the client to discuss their design ideas and understand the relevant scope of works. Second meeting, I would show them 3 different views of basic SketchUp models and then have them agree upon one of them. In the subsequent meetings, I'd spend progress shots, which incurs and alters design based on their feedback until we reach a final agreement point which can be quickly outsourced and procured. In between, payments could be collected, ideally at 3 stages, one before you begin the work, one after the first submission, and the last one after the final submission. And always remember to keep the final submission amount about 5 to 10% only, not more than that. Yeah. So how can a student start? Student can use the portfolio as your advertising tool. I would suggest setting up a small online portfolio site and advertising your service via social media platforms. One thing in particular which has failed me personally many times in early days, and I don't want you guys to fail, make sure to agree upon the exact number of perspective views and rates even before you start doing anything. Most clients sadly have a tendency to change views many times throughout the process, not realizing how frustrating it can be for you. If you have already done the final renderings, it takes a lot of time, I have burned my fingers many times with this, so I would suggest it's best if you can agree upon the additional charges right at the very beginning. Most of your clients throughout your career will not be architecturally trained, the very reason why they have come to you in the first place, and will not be able to visualize in 3D. You need to show them 3D visualizations of your concepts for it to become sellable. 3D visualizations are expensive and time and manpower consuming, and when it needs to be changed over and over again, it becomes very difficult for them. So this is your opportunity. Next is basic drafting service. Different states or provinces are likely to have different requirements for submitting basic sanctioned drawings, but there is always a need for qualified people to produce such drawings, and there is your opportunity. All building sanctioning departments require submission in a very specific format as per the relevant codes or national building codes, where your drawing skills can be of great assistance. As for payment, it's both okay to either set an hourly fee or charge by the job. But if you ask me, I would personally prefer to always charge by the nature of the job. Then comes starting a how-to blog that offers tips. Have you just passed your IGBC or LEED or AP or BD+C exam? Are you an expert in some drawing software? What can you really do well that you can teach others? Blogging is a longer path to produce regular income, but there are people making good money by simply sharing their skills online. I always keep saying the more you teach, the more you learn. Then comes creating a YouTube channel. I have my YouTube channel, and if you guys haven't subscribed that already, do hit the subscribe button and also click that bell icon. That is very, very important, Well, if you are anything like me, every time you have an AutoCAD or Revit issue, you YouTube the solution. More often than not, the solution is there. Why? Because you are not alone. Someone else already had that issue already. Someone else has already solved that issue. Yes, of course, you aren't the first person to do this. But yes, if you are good at a particular program and you communicate the solution well, your services may be in high demand. So go ahead, find your niche. You're more likely to succeed. Point number 5, use freelance job platforms. Why not take advantage of platforms that were created for people like you? There are a lot of great platforms available online for freelance work to list. Google them out for yourself. You can simply get started by creating a profile on one of these websites and bidding on your first project. First freelance job can be a start on your own freelance business. Sounds simple, isn't it? Let me reinforce my point behind all this. What I sincerely believe and keep teaching for past 2 decades across India and abroad. A school of architecture draws creative and proactive people who are trained to innovate and adapt. Therefore, why can't these skills be implemented for the entrepreneurial ventures? You can and you must. Don't accept the status quo like other engineering graduates are, and more importantly, don't fall victim to all the negativity you hear about how there are no jobs for the graduates in the market. Pick a service, advertise your work, network, and good opportunities will present themselves to you. Having said all of that, I strongly believe that there's a lot to learn, and an architect will always be a student, constantly learning. Let's start discussing your thoughts, your views, your comments on this particular topic right in the box below. I'll get back to you. See you. Bye-bye.